Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's live stream. And today's topic, I am going to share a little bit of more information about this channel and why I haven't really done any sponsors from several companies that have approached me about, putting up their brand on the channel and also, promoting their products in each one of my videos. So I haven't really done that at all, really. So I wanted to give my thoughts on that kind of entire process of being approached by several different media, several different companies that are that are kind of in the business of promoting online courses. And then there are coding boot camps that have also approached me. And what else is there? And I think that's about it. And for the most part, I've rejected all types of sponsorships to the channel. And then I'll tell you why I've done that. And then I also want to get into some of the details as to how sponsors will approach you and how much they'll pay you based on certain metrics that gauge or help them gauge how your channel will help them or help their revenue streams. So just wanted to talk about that briefly today, and then we'll get into perhaps some more Q&A. Well, some Q&A in the live stream. Yeah. Oh man, my voice isn't doing so well today. Perhaps due to the long night that I had last night. And also maybe because I just woke up like an hour and a half ago. So I have my live stream up. I'm going to turn off my music. It's a little distracting here. Okay, so quite a few people on the live stream right now. I just want to perhaps shrink myself down here. Where should I go? I think I'll put myself in the bottom right corner here. On the back of the screen, you'll see Twitter, which is where I'll just post my stream. Today's live stream I wanted to go over some reasons why I have not done any sponsorships for the channel. So there, paste, tweet. Okay, so that's not the correct image that I want. Unfortunately, I don't think I can change that right now. Okay. Change thumbnail. Okay. All right. So just making sure everything's looking good. Okay. So some of you guys are wondering about Kotlin, which is the Android programming language. And I do feel like I am a little sick, Kuro Senpai. Thank you for your concerns. I'm not sure if I'm just sick or if it's just, how you guys, when you wake up in the morning and you're sort of out of sorts. That's how I'm feeling right now. And the Instagram widget. So I'm like monitoring 5 different things at once. The Instagram widget is actually the Instagram app. Unfortunately, when I'm doing these live streams, the Instagram images don't load properly. So, basically this is the Instagram course that I've been promoting pretty blatantly the past couple of weeks. And anyone that's interested in taking that course, please feel free to do so. We build out the user profile screens, how to share photos. For example, this guy allows you to share photos. And there is actually some progressive or pagination going on here. So these are the photos of my my Taiwan trip, which I went on roughly a year ago. Wow, seems like such a long time ago. So anyhow, let me get kind of to the point here. There's the Facebook group that a lot of you guys have been a part of already. I want to get through all of the approvals for everyone that's looking to join this Facebook group. But because I actually look at everyone's profile whenever they click on the join group. So this is why sometimes it takes a while for me to approve your request. And the reason why I do that is because I don't want people to spam the group. I don't want people to market anything in the group that I don't want other people to see. So some people will come in and then they'll advertise their business in here, which is not good. So if I ever see something like student, pretty sure that's good. Jeffrey Su, 桃园 District, 六合高级中学. Okay. Yeah. Quite a few people from Taiwan. Okay, so I'm going to hit this approve for Jeffrey Su, 台湾的同学们. And then we have from Malaysia, Bobby Tao, looks good. I always like babies. And then we have Cindy Velasquez, San Bernardino. I think I just saw someone in the live stream post about San Bernardino. Is that you? Patrick Nicholson. You have someone else in the group also from San Bernardino. Her name is Cindy Velasquez. So that's good. We also have Scarlett Johansson over here from New Delhi. I didn't know she was from New Delhi. So approve. Yeah. So make sure to join the Facebook group if you want to, get in on the fun in the chat. Pretty much every day I post something new inside the chat. And there's quite a lot of you guys engaging in the conversation as well, which is always a lot of fun. I don't approve of every post, and I monitor the behavior pretty tightly. So if you are joining the group currently, I will get to your approval probably a little bit later. So you see we have 20 plus people in the group, or member requests. And then just to give you a feel for what the posts look like, we have all these messages here. I don't really have time to get into it today, but the discussion looks like this right here. And 30 people want to join this group. That's me, my beautiful face, right? So let's see, what do I want to talk about here today? It looks like we have about 85 people in the channel so far. 91 it looks like. So let me get this show on the road here. Now the deal with sponsors is that they kind of monitor the channel's performance in terms of subscribers, engagement, view count, and that's probably those the three major pillars of how well your channel can perform in terms of being able to push their product. And what I have really looked at in the past couple of weeks is the channel's performance on socialblade.com. So if you guys that want to see the stats for someone's channel, you can go to Social Blade right here and then just type in whatever inside of the username at the top right. For example, if you want to there's a PewDiePie, you can see PewDiePie's channel with 54 million subscribers, and it's a pretty high performing channel, right? And you see he has the potential of earning $9.8 million. So, I don't really want to talk about PewDiePie's channel today, but more my channel, I guess. So in terms of subscribers for this channel, we've been getting quite a lot over the past couple of weeks, which has been pretty exciting. If you scroll down a little bit to the rest of the the monthly stats regarding the channel. You can see how the channel is performing. So see monthly statistics, and then you scroll down some more, right? So in the month of March, there's been a pretty good amount of growth, and you see right here is the amount of subscribers that the channel is increasing by. Let me get a cup of water here. Right. So you see the subscribers, and then yesterday 725. Don't really know why the channel performs like really well every now and then, but those are the stats. And then based on these stats, the sponsors that will approach you typically want to know if they can get their product onto your channel through some kind of sponsorship. Usually in the beginning of each video, you have like some kind of like 10-minute bump that will help promote their product. So that's kind of how it works. And I've been approached by a couple of companies. It's like, they want to pay you $100 to $200 per promotion. And for the most part, I haven't really continued on any conversation about promotions. So yeah. And the one company that has approached me is this company called Dev Mountain. Let's see what they do over here. So there's this coding school called Dev Mountain that has approached me about putting their products on my videos, and they seem like a pretty decent company. I've watched a lot of their content, and for some of you guys that want to check out a boot camp for 12 weeks or 16 weeks, they offer housing as well, so you can check out Dev Mountain. I haven't really, they seem decent. They're offering me to do a sponsorship for them, but I just haven't had the time to actually integrate it into the channel. Yeah. And then, yeah. Oh, look at the stats. Do you guys know that YouTube recently pulled out, or a lot of companies pulled out of YouTube in terms of the advertising revenue for the channels? I guess you guys probably aren't really interested in that, but YouTube is currently experiencing a lot of difficulties with companies not willing to kind of pitch in terms of getting the channels or the creators things. Yeah. So anyhow, let's see, what else do I have on this guy? So analytics, pretty sure you guys are not really interested in that. All right, so something else I wanted to talk about today that was brought up in a message was that it's kind of similar to this question right here. Yeah, I'm practically giving them free advertisement. Yep. So yeah, I mean, I don't really mind promoting anything that seems decent, and they seem like a decent company. So that's that. So the other day I got this question about how programming languages kind of work in terms of people trying to understand when they have a full grasp of a programming language. And the thing about programming languages is that you will never fully understand the language, even though you study it for a couple of years. That's my experience anyhow. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. Okay, this over here. So where am I? Where am I here? Ah, the beauty of live stream. Yeah, the Google ads is quite important for the future of YouTube. Yeah, so Google ads, it seems like the revenue for all YouTube channels have gone down. For some channels, it's gone from like 50% of what it normally is. And then other channels are reporting a total decrease to about 20% of what they're making through YouTube. So it's been quite the scare. I think a lot of people are wondering whether or not to continue on YouTube as a full-time YouTuber or a part-time YouTuber. Yeah. So it's pretty scary lately. And luckily, I don't really depend on YouTube ad revenue for making these videos on the channel. All right, so we have Johan with a super chat. Do call in, please. You've been promising it for a long time. Yeah. So DKK, I guess, is that $2? I think that's the blue is the $2, I believe. And then you get higher and higher in the super chat if you want to donate money. So I have a couple of ideas as to when I want to push out the Android tutorials. And the current problem for me right now is that I am working on the Firebase course, which is taking up quite a bit of time. Yeah. Well, thank you, Johan. I promise I will get something out maybe in May. Okay, so what is the living cost in the US on average? I think the living cost is quite high, and it's really depending on where you live in the country. For example, in the West Coast and in the East Coast, in California, New York, it's really, really expensive because these are, the metropolitan areas that have a pretty dense population. And the Silicon Valley in the West Coast is like really, really expensive. The houses here are, $1 million to $2 million for a regular house. This is not a mansion or anything, which is pretty crazy. Yeah. So let me just scroll through the chat here. How's everyone doing, by the way, today? Is everyone a coder? How many of you guys are like pure 100% Swift coders? Am I planning to build any iOS games? I want to look into building out Angry Birds or some kind of version of Angry Birds. And if I can figure out how the physics work, I will present that to you guys through a series of tutorials. Swift Python, Swift Android, electrical engineering student. So this is the place that I film at currently is my apartment. It's quite the small apartment because I don't actually like living in a place too big. But obviously having a bigger place would be a lot nicer. It's harder to maintain is what I've realized. I used to live in an apartment that was about 1.5 times this size, and it was a bit too much space for me during the time. So I downgraded and moved into a smaller place. Let's see how big I can get in here. Okay. Yeah. I'm still feeling a little sleepy for some reason. So this question here, do I code while standing? Yeah, I actually do code while I stand. I have this standing desk. Uh, so I wanted to go over my setup here in terms of the monitor that I used, my laptop, my mouse and keyboard, and I think that's it. Because some of you guys have been asking me what kind of computer I have. Uh, Actually, a lot of you guys have been wondering what types of MacBooks to purchase for iOS development. I honestly do not recommend any MacBook Airs because of the slow compile times. I know they work pretty well, but when I taught boot camp like last year, almost 80% of the students there had a MacBook Air. And because the MacBook Air is small and portable, right, you can't really put a lot inside of that machine in terms of the hard drive, the SSD, the RAM. It's all pretty minimal, which means that when you hit the compile button, you hit the run, it takes, I don't know, 10 to 20 seconds to compile the app, launch it in the simulator, and then finally see your code live. So I don't know, for me, it seems like it's a little slow. But obviously, you can't really afford good equipment. My machine costs about $2,500, which is more on the expensive side. But I purchased it in 2013. So for the last 5 years, it's been performing really, really well. A Hackintosh will make Apple revoke your license. I don't know if that's true. I built a Hackintosh like 5 years ago, and it was extremely difficult to maintain. Right, so I have this enormous tower, the best processor during the time, so much RAM in there, and like 2 terabytes of SSD storage, and I had all of that. I don't think it was all SSD. I think it was like a 1 terabyte platter disk with another 2 SSD hard drives, totaling to about 2 terabytes. And amazingly fast, but it wasn't reliable enough. I remember every time I needed to install some new different driver for like a webcam or like a USB speaker, the entire system would like crash. So the Hackintosh just did not do a good job at like being dependable. Yeah. So a lot of you guys also have a question of what camera I used, and this is currently the Panasonic GH4. It cost me about $1,000 for the camera body itself. The lens on it that I'm using is a 20 millimeter 1.7 aperture. That's why you can kind of see the background is a little bit blurred out. Yeah. So I guess I'll move this Instagram thing out of the way. I think a lot of you guys already know that there is the Instagram course. So let me see. How much larger can I make my face here? Okay, is that large enough? Let me move this guy over here. I really need a full-time assistant to help me with this kind of stuff here. Okay, so let's see. Nobody cares about my YouTube setup. Yeah, for the most part, I think a small percentage of people always wonder about the YouTube setup that I have. So I like to give my input every now and then. Yeah. Good camera choice. So this camera body costs $1,000. The newest GH5 costs like $2,000, and I really have no reason to upgrade my current camera setup. It's working perfectly fine. The thing about camera choices is if you're looking to make your own YouTube channel, you just film your cell phone, right? Uh, yeah. Was I ever offered a job at Google, Facebook, or Amazon? So I went on a, I didn't go, but I had a phone screening with Google like 5 years ago, and I didn't pass the phone screening, so I didn't, I didn't go on it, obviously. Uh, the thing about job interviews and you know, companies in general, I don't really find it really interesting to join a company to write code for them anymore. But that's just me. I'm a bit crazy like that. Do I have any real world experience with Android and Java? Uh, yeah, I think I think I mentioned this before. Building out that Touch Modern Android app, which has about 1 million Android users per week or per month. So quite a few users. Built it from scratch, and yeah, it wasn't that difficult because I had previous Java experience working at my previous job. So you know, learning how to work with servlets, unit testing, and all that good stuff. Do I struggle with motivation to actually sit down and work? From Scott Leslie. Um, that's a good question. For the most part, I don't really struggle with motivation. I struggle with uh, I struggle with what's the right word for this? I struggle with finding energy more than motivation. Most of the time, I'm just tired. Like a lot of times when I want to put out 2 videos or 3 videos a day, I just get really, really tired after recording one video. That's what's difficult about it. I don't have a problem finding motivation. It's just physically I can't do it for more than 4 to 5 hours a day. Pushing like the seventh, eighth hour of the day recording video is like physically really draining, and mentally draining as well. Did I go to college? Yeah, I went to UC Berkeley, which is a public school in California. I don't know if you guys know about UC Berkeley, but it's a pretty decent college. Uh, and 10 years from now, or 10 years after graduating, it's still something worthwhile to put on your resume, I guess. Python 3, I'm not really a Python coder. I really wish I was. So Fawad at eToro, where am I releasing my course? If you just go to letsbuildthatapp.com, you can find the course. So where is this? Right here. So I guess I'll put it up here. So yeah, you go to letsbuildthatapp.com/course/Instagram Firebase. You will be able to find the course, and it is currently selling for $50 for a crap ton of videos. You know, we have currently about 20 videos for the entire course. There's going to be a total of roughly 40 videos is what I'm projecting, but that's what it looks like currently. So that's that. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, so Sean Allen's question. What's your ratio of hours you put into YouTube versus contracting? Currently, I don't do any more contracting work because YouTube has been keeping me so busy that I haven't had the need to do contracting work. Obviously, contracting work would pay a lot more, but I have I don't really have the need for contracting. The money that comes from contracting is not what I'm looking for right now. Um, and my hourly rate is like $100 to $150 an hour, which people are willing to pay me for that. I just don't have the time to deal with projects. Um, After you guys become more experienced with managing your time, you'll realize that $100, $150 is probably the minimum that you need to charge, because switching from like working on a project, working on something else on your own, it just takes too much time. There's just too much administrative work to deal with as well. Scott Leslie, I can never establish a connection with your website. Is this a known problem? I tried to fix any problems regarding that. I have not heard too much about the website not being able to be reached, but you can try maybe later today. It's operating on normal normal protocols, and most people have been able to connect to the website. So I don't know. What classes do you suggest to take in high school if I'm about to take CS in college? Well, the thing I recommend for all students that want to get into programming is to learn how to code, really. So just pick up some language that you really, really want to learn, and then just focus on learning it. Like math classes aren't actually all that helpful for a CS degree, but unfortunately, you need the math requirements to graduate with a CS degree. Yeah. What stack is my website built on? So the stack is a MySQL database backend. The server side is written in entirely Google Golang, and then we have a JavaScript React.js frontend. And what else is in between? I think that's it for the most part. Uh, yeah, and it costs, I don't know, like $25 to host the whole thing. So I wanted to make sure that it was cheap and it didn't have a lot of overhead to address as the website grows. And currently the website has about, I don't know, like 1,000 users a day, maybe like 100,000 views per month, which is pretty decent. Yeah. Oh, am I out of focus? Can't tell. It's hard to get focus on this camera. That's the one major problem. So advice for a 15-year-old who wants to learn Adam Lawson. So one advice for you is that you probably shouldn't spam the channel with the same message over and over. It's one way to get yourself banned and also ignored. I don't really understand why people don't like it, but that's just the way it is. Do I usually apply core data in my product apps? I really don't use core data all that much in terms of production applications. Um, yeah. Yeah, like I said, when people start spamming the channel, it's for whatever reason the people just don't like answering the questions. Yeah. Okay, here's an interesting question that I've been kind of pondering over the past couple of weeks. You were talking about time management. What are your strategies for time management and creating a routine? What's your current morning routine, for example? So, time management is the most important thing that a lot of you guys should concentrate on if you find yourself, slacking off in the morning, not getting up with the right purpose. And I'm not like a Tim Robbins. Is that the guy? No, Tim Robbins. I can't remember who that life guru, life coach guy is. What I do is I wake up at about 8 a.m. in the morning. No, that's a lie. 9 a.m. in the morning, and then I get ready, get my cup of coffee, which is not a cup of coffee, but perhaps some tea, or I have a Starbucks espresso double shot. And I don't even know if it has any effect on me, but it wakes me up, or at least psychologically it does. And then I get my recording equipment ready, prepare some kind of lesson, and then I hit the record button, and then I record as much as I can until I can't record anymore, which is normally like 2 to 3 hours. And then I get to editing. Yeah, Tony Robbins is the guy, not Tim Robbins. And then, so the difficult part about recording the YouTube videos is that you have to prepare so much, and you have to keep in mind what you have to edit later on. Yeah. And then my typical day starts from about 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and then it ends maybe 8 p.m., 9 p.m. So I work maybe a 12-hour day, and in between I'll take, half-hour breaks. So, I mean, it's not that I find having a 12-hour day to be hard or difficult, because I'd rather be working than not working, right? I don't really see doing this as work because it's something I just like doing, and because I constantly see the growth of the channel, and I see everyone watching the videos that really makes doing this easier, right? I'm not going to tell you that I'm not going to tell you that my passion drives me to do this. I don't really have the passion for it much, but doing this makes me feel like I'm being productive. I just want to put it that way. And the thing about when I'm typically feeling bad about myself, it's usually because I am not being productive. That's the biggest drain on me, like mentally. And for example, when I'm going out, like if I'm just walking in a mall, in a shopping mall, right? I am constantly feeling guilty that I'm not doing something more productive. So building out this channel makes me feel really, really, really productive. And that's why I do the channel, really. Like helping you guys out is kind of a byproduct and a side effect of making myself feel better. So we have Fuad Adetoro. Where are you releasing your Instagram clone? Yes, so it is available on the website, and it is only available on the website. Yeah, so Adam Lawson, coding is just something that you have to get into. It's like learning to play tennis, right? You have to pick up the racket and start swinging. That's the only advice I can give you. Okay. All right. One last question about life coaching. Do you know how to fight procrastination? Because it's not easy to be productive and concentrated 100% every day. So Farouk, message retracted. I wonder what happened there. I think that one thing you have to realize about procrastination is that you're not going to be 100% productive during the whole day. So you have to take breaks. You have to make sure that you're happy doing whatever you're doing. If I force myself to be 8 hours productive every day, I might be able to do it for like 3 or 4 days in a row, and then I'd probably crash, and for the next couple of weeks I wouldn't be able to do anything. So that's unfortunately how my brain operates and how my body operates. And obviously you guys have a better understanding as to how your brain works and how to maintain it over time. Yeah. Okay. What else is interesting here? What do you do for a living? Oh, Ben Clary. Wow. A 3-part question from Mohammed. Jesus Christ. I have new to programming. I have watched multiple courses on Swift, but I'm still struggling with it. Personally, practical application works best for me. I know you charge for your courses. If I want you to supervise me in an app I am building, would you be able to do it? If yes, how much would it cost? It's a very simple app. I believe this would be a good opportunity for me to learn programming while also building the app I want. So right off the bat, I guess $100 an hour is what I probably charge for my time. And it's probably pretty expensive for a lot of people. I put it at a pretty high rate because I honestly don't really have a whole lot of time these days, and doing private tutoring and private mentoring takes a bit of energy out of me. Like when I have to switch from one project or one thing to mentoring and then going back to that project, a lot of context switching going on. And that makes me very, very non-productive, which is why I try to minimize anything that's not YouTube video lesson related. Yeah. Unfortunately, I just don't have the resources to dedicate to personal mentoring. On the Instagram course, there's a comment section that you can just leave your questions on. And each video has a pretty lengthy discussion for people that are kind of wondering how things work. So for example, if you go on, I think this video here, no, this Chrome browser is not happy with my live streams. It cannot show you guys what I want to show you, unfortunately. So how much do I earn nowadays? Yeah, YouTube doesn't pay a whole lot. And I don't know. I don't earn a whole lot nowadays either. Yeah. And I have, having worked 10 years in the software industry, I have a bit of money saved up, which is why I'm not really worried about money right now. So I don't spend a whole lot of money. Software development pays a lot. So that's why I can do this right now. Yeah. Okay. Have you ever thought of teaching in a high school or at the university level because you explain very well and it seems easy with me? Uh, if a university wanted me to teach a course, I think I would do it. But unfortunately, I don't have the proper credentials to teach a university. I don't have like a PhD or a master's degree in computer science. And these educational institutions, they want to make sure they want to, or they can hire someone that has those credentials. Whether or not those credentials make someone a better teacher, I don't think it is correlated, right? I've had instructors that had like multiple PhDs that were just horrible teachers. And it's usually the people that don't have those degrees that really can actually teach. Like teaching is a skill itself that's totally different from getting a PhD degree. So, anyways, I don't want to rant about education anymore. I think a lot of you guys know that I am not an advocate of the American education system. That's why, like, a lot of people here are not learning what they need to learn. School is kind of a waste of time, I find. Yeah, again, school is a waste of time, is my official stance on college education. Wow, okay. Seems like a lot of you guys are interacting with each other in the live chat. Here's a good question from Meadow Tech. How important are coding conventions to me? Coding conventions is like so important in terms of, I guess, maintaining your project. If you don't have conventions in your code base, code repository, whenever someone new comes in and looks at your code base, if the conventions are not there, then it's very difficult for them to understand what your thought processes are because it doesn't follow the usual patterns of coding. And if you can follow as many good conventions as you can, it just makes it a lot cheaper, a lot easier to maintain and implement new features as the code base grows. Right. Elance, Odess, I as an American, Elance and Odess is not something that we really think about or look into a whole lot, so I can't really tell you about Elance and Odess. I just know that on that platform, people will undercut you as much as possible, so it's hard to make a decent living there. And it's probably the opposite for people outside of the US. It's probably a great platform. Where do I see myself in the future? This feels like a job interview here. With the way that the channel is growing, if I can hit, maybe like 200,000 subscribers within the next couple of years, that'll be a fun experience. But we'll see if that happens. I don't really mind having a low subscriber count either, because a high subscriber count doesn't really mean that your channel is doing well, or even if it's something that you are looking like to get. I'm not really looking to get YouTube famous here. Most of my coding knowledge I learned on my own. Yeah, I think I learned probably like 95% of all I know about coding on my own, just researching on Google, reading blog posts, reading through Apple's documentation, Java docs, and then actually coding, like sitting down and coding a project on my own is how I really understand a language. YouTube University is the way to go. Maybe I should pioneer the YouTube University project. Whoa. I'm on my second year of college and I want to change my major to computer science. Is it too late to change? And is it a bad idea to change without any knowledge about coding or programming? Okay, so the last part, yes. If you haven't coded before and you want to become a coding or a programmer or a coder, look into building out your own project first. If you can't stand staring at a computer for 8 hours a day, I highly discourage you from becoming a programmer. So make sure you can sit in front of a computer and actually code for a long period of time before you dive into the world of programming. Yeah. Wow. A lot of questions today. I guess a lot of people are joining the stream for some odd reason, more than it seems like normally. Firebase has a limitation for something like pagination and other thing. Can you make another course or tutorial with another backend? Because almost everyone makes tutorial and Firebase or about Firebase. Yeah, so Adrian, I am so the Twitter app, the Twitter series tutorial on the YouTube channel, that is running off a custom backend. And the original idea for that series was to make pagination something that we can build on or build up towards. I just haven't had the time to dedicate to more Twitter videos and lessons. And it currently costs me like, I don't know, $10-15 for that server. So it's a financial consideration as well. So yeah. Oh man, a lot of you guys here today. Oh, hello from Turkey. Well, hello. Am I planning to upload Android-based videos in the future? Possibly. So when I launched this channel last year in January, I was trying to decide on the name of the channel, and I didn't want to limit the tutorials to Swift only tutorials. So I just made it more generic and just called it like, let's build that app. And I guess in addition to that, I really wanted to be a split between iOS, Android, and also the web. So for example, JavaScript, right? And I didn't really see, I didn't project that this YouTube, the iOS Swift channel would grow in such a way that I didn't have the time to do everything I wanted to. So I guess both fortunately and unfortunately, I currently just don't have the resources to do much, which is good. When you're busy, it's good. When people like your content, like the stuff that you put out, it's good. Yeah. And then Visual Studio, C#, I can do tutorials on that as well. I guess the thing is that the teaching style on this channel is like really different compared to the standard university education system. So it's different. A lot of people are finding it helpful. So we have Slava Breath. So waiting for the Twitter profile page. When I complete the Instagram course, I will move back onto the Twitter series. Hopefully. No promises. Uh, so Luke Jones, what percentage of programmers that you've worked with are extroverts? I imagine programming is more introvert dominant. Well, I don't know about that actually. I've been in big companies and small companies. So the biggest company I worked at had about 100 engineers in one office, which is quite a lot. Like the entire floor was dedicated to engineers, and for the most part, you have, uh, I guess you can consider them introverted because the moment you walk into the marketing and the sales side of the office, like it's quite the quite the change, right? The environment is quite different. So I guess yeah. Uh, and then amongst the introverts, you'll find some that are a lot more outgoing, and then you'll find some like really fun people to hang out with that are really good programmers. How about shooting lifestyle video blogs from Didar? Uh, I don't really see myself ever doing vlogs. Like whenever I see a vlog on my YouTube feed, I just don't want to click into it, and I don't really want to shoot. I don't really want to record my life, which is not all that exciting. A lot of the vlogs that you watch on YouTube or whatever social media, it's not. It's probably like 100% fake. Like no one has that. No one has a life that is worth filming every day, and you have to force the excitement into your life in order to make it an interesting vlog. And I don't really have the time to do that. Yeah. My light off? Oh, jeez. Yeah. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. Are most companies open in workspaces and desks? Uh, yes and no. It's hard to say. The trend is going more towards open workspaces, yes. Okay, I'm about to graduate in the UK and have passion for iOS development. However, there aren't a lot of jobs for graduates. Would you recommend learning Java through thoroughly to get a generic developer job? I don't think that's how it works. Yeah, I just don't think that's how it works. There is no such thing as a generic developer job. Every job that you have to apply for in terms of software is kind of focused on a particular language. And if you want to be a website developer, maybe you learn Rails or PHP or JavaScript. And then if you want to be like a backend server guy, backend, yeah, you learn Java. So yeah, college is so frustrating right now. I'm three-fourths of the way through computer science, and I don't see the relevancy of what I'm learning with respect to the market. Yeah, I really hated college myself. How do you deal with burnout? Um, I honestly have never really experienced burnout because I actually like what I do. So like experiencing burnout with what you like to do means that you no longer find it enjoyable. I can't ever say that I've felt that way about programming because there's just so many different programming languages to learn, so many different projects that you can work on, like learn how to build a game, learn how to build a server, learn how to build a website that can operate on that server, learn how to build a game that connects to Firebase. There's just so many exciting things to learn. Not enough time. And yeah. Yeah. Okay. Most of the same type of languages are easier, but yeah. Yeah. Tons of tutorials on YouTube which shows you how to do it. Oh man. What are the thoughts on Swift becoming an alternative to Java backends? So Java backends, right? They've been around for the last 20 years. If anyone thinks that Swift is going to even touch what is available on Java in terms of Java backends and enterprise software, you, they probably have a bad interpretation of how the software landscape looks like. Nothing is ever going to take Java down. Nothing. Swift is only going to like barely scratch what Java has to offer. So Java is like the giant that no one can ever take down. Hey Tom, good to see you in the channel. How to pull an all-nighter without getting tired? That's hard. And it gets harder as you get older as well. Yeah, just don't pull the all-nighter. I don't recommend it. Yeah. Will I do any Go tutorials, Google Go tutorials? I would like to. I would really like to do something new. I think doing Swift for the past year has gotten a little bit mundane. Have I ever experienced with Node.js? I did some Firebase and Node.js like half a year ago. Pretty easy to work with. You know, I had something up and running within like 2 hours, which is pretty efficient. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So an hour has passed by today, and there's still 129 of you guys in the live stream. So, all right. Last couple of questions for anyone that wants to learn about, I guess, iOS, Swift, mobile, Android, and whatnot before I kind of turn the live stream off and probably go back to sleep. Yeah. So, hey, Darren Tolentino. Mac apps. I would like to build Mac apps too. I guess I would like to build everything that I know about, and then everything that I don't know about, I'd like to go and do more research on how to build things. Again, not enough time in the day to learn about new technologies. I guess I'll leave you guys with one interesting bit of information about myself before I left my full-time job. So I made that video on why I quit like half a year ago or so. And the main reason, one of the main reasons why I quit was that I didn't find myself having enough time to research different technologies, such as how to play video on iOS, how to build out servers using Google Go, how to learn about Node.js, other available frameworks out there that I wanted to, learn about. So I just quit my full-time job and said, okay, I want to I want to spend my own time to learn about things that I want to learn about. So that's why I quit my full-time job. I was kind of more selfish in that way. Yeah. And then, making this YouTube channel has been a very, very interesting journey. It kind of serves two purposes. I can do the research that I want to do, and then I can show everyone how it really works. Oh, 3 a.m. in Singapore. Well, yeah. Okay, guys. I think I'm gonna get some food and then go back to sleep. And I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully, I'll feel a little bit better. All right. Enjoy your day, guys, and stay tuned for Monday's video.